Today we are going to discuss about the chapter which is there in NCERT syllabus of second economic students, production and cost. So here we are going to learn about the behavior of the producer, how the producer or a firm acquires different inputs like labor, machine, land, raw material, etc. Combining these input, it produces output, and this is called the process of production. A producer or a firm acquires different input like labor, machine, land, raw material, etc. Combining these input, it produces output, and this is called a process of production. Production means a process by which resources are transformed into a more useful commodity or service. Resource in the sense it's an input for the producer. It can be land, labor, capital or entrepreneurship. So acquiring all this input, he produces the output. Transforming the input combination into output to produce the goods is called as a production. In general, production means transforming input in the sense labor, machines, raw material into an useful and desired output. For example, there are several examples like iron ore will be converted to steel. So iron ore is used as a raw material by one of the firm, and that is converted into steel. The way of conversion of iron ore into the steel is called as a production. And also there is another example, legal services like medical service, consultancy service, hospitality, etc. This is also the way of production. Next we will learn what are the inputs for the firm to produce the goods. Factors of production. These are the input which is used by the firm to produce the output. What are the factors of production? There are 4 factors which is considered as an input for the firm to supply the goods. The first factor is land. Land, natural resource available for the production is land. Labor, the human input into the production process. So labor, it's nothing but of an human input into the production process. And the third is capital, goods used in the supply of other product. Example, tech, that is machineries like that. Goods used in the supply of other product, that is machineries. Then entrepreneur, organize factors of production and take the risk. These are considered as an input for the firm to produce the goods. Land, labor, capital, enterprises. These are the 4 factors for any firm or for a producer to produce the goods, to produce the output. Now let us learn what is cost of production. To acquire input, firm has to pay for them. See, all the input such as land, labor, capital, enterprises, to acquire this, the firm has to pay for them. For example, if we purchase the land or if we purchase labor, what happens? If we purchase the land, he has to pay the rent. If we hire the labor, he has to pay the wages. If he purchase the capital in the sense of machineries, he has to pay the interest for that. And enterprises in the sense he has to organize all this activity, for that he has to pay. So the cost which have been incurred to acquire this input is called as a cost of production. And next is revenue. After producing the output, the firm sells the goods in the market and he earns the money. That money is considered as a revenue. Whatever the firm sell in the market and earns, that is revenue. And next, what is a profit? Profit is nothing but it's a difference between revenue and the cost. The revenue which the firm gets after selling in the market, selling the goods in the market, and the cost, in the sense the cost which have been incurred for all the input. So deducting the cost with the revenue, he will get the profit. Next we will learn about production function. What is production function? It is defined as the functional relationship between physical input, that is factors of production which we have discussed in the previous slide, that is land, labor, capital and the enterprises, and physical output in the sense the quantity of the goods produced. Production function is defined as a functional relationship between physical input, that is factors of production, and physical output, that is the quantity of the goods produced. Now, the production function may be expressed as under, or the equation for the production function. Q is equal to F of K comma L, where Q is equal to output of the commodity per unit of time. K is capital. It's one of the input to produce the output. And L is a labor. F is a functional relationship. So what is the equation? Equation here is, production function equation is Q is equal to F of K comma L. A production function is defined for a given technology. See, always a production function is defined for a given technology. It is a technological knowledge that determines the maximum level of output that can be produced using different combination of input. Technological knowledge is very important for the labor to produce maximum output for the different combination of the input. As the technology improves, the output also increases. A firm produces output using two factors of production. We write the production function as Q is equal to F of x1 comma x2. x1 denotes labor and x2 denotes capital. A numerical example of production function is given in this table. The left column shows the amount of factor labor, that is factor 1 labor, and the top row shows the amount of capital. As we move to the right along any row, capital increases. As we move down along any column, labor increases. For different values of a two factors, the table shows a corresponding output level. For example, with 1 unit of labor and 1 unit of capital, the firm can produce at most 1 unit of output. With 2 units of labor and 2 units of capital, it can produce at most 10 units of output. With 3 units of labor and 2 units of capital, it can produce at most 18 units of output, and so on.